fantastic introduction. I am going to share my screen with you because I did put together some slides to follow along with. So hopefully everybody can see that. Give me a nod if you can see. All right. um, so I am, as Davia mentioned, Shannon Daniels. I am the founder and CEO of ENCAPTIVE, that platform that I shared earlier, but I also have a bit of a story that I'm going to share with you. I've given a TEDx, I've written a book. Yay, we're going to talk about some of the things in this book. And I found it great that we were actually talking about goals today, because part of what I'm prepared to talk to you about is setting and accomplishing goals today. And I had no idea that that was really the theme that we were talking about. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about my story. I actually started out in corporate America very young. I was 19 years old when I started working at Merrill Lynch, and thus began my ladder climbing days. I spent 3 years there before I was recruited to an insurance company to run a marketing department. And then from there, became a project manager and just kept climbing the ladder up and up and up. I was born and raised in Florida. And so that's where I really started my corporate ladder climbing journey. And when I was there, one of the positions I had, I was running a marketing department, and I got recruited by the sales team at that same company to come and be the regional sales manager and run sales for the Northeast for that same company up here. It took me a month to make up my mind to make that change, because I was leaving all my friends, all my family in Florida, the community that I had built there. And it was really scary. But I finally decided, hey, this is a big, important move in my career. It's a great opportunity to learn and grow. And also, hey, the paycheck goes up quite a bit with that too, right? So from there, I got recruited to a job in New York City, where I was a director of sales and marketing. And from there, the VP. And from there, like, I just kept going up and up and up. And in my 30s, I'm making $250,000. I've got all these executive titles. And the problem was, I just kept becoming more and more unhappy as I climbed this ladder. I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, isn't this how the world's supposed to work? I'm supposed to get all these jobs. I'm supposed to take what I learned in my undergrad and my grad school and take that education, put it to work, make as much money as possible, buy nice cars and houses. But I just found my whole life became about chasing papers and fulfilling myself in that work. And it wasn't fulfilling. It wasn't purpose driven. I became more and more miserable the more money I made and the higher I climbed. So, question for all of you: throw up a hand or give me a nod or post in the chat. Has this ever been you? Have you ever felt this way? Have any of you ever felt this way in your careers, in your lives? I'm seeing some nods in there. So yeah, so it was kind of like a gut check there of, oh my gosh, this isn't how life's supposed to be for me. And so I decided to quit my job. And I had, in the meantime, gotten my health coaching certification, and I had a master's in interpersonal communication. And after I got my health coaching certification, I started writing my book, Water Yourself, which is all about self-care, taking care of yourself, investing in your dreams and yourself. And I realized, sitting at my corporate job, that I wasn't following my own advice. Here I was going to this job, worried about making all this money, working these crazy hours, and the book just wasn't coming together because something was missing. I wasn't living what I was telling people to do. And I was also helping people on the side with their health and wellness and achieving their goals, and realizing, oh my gosh, I am so fulfilled and so happy doing this. And so I had just gotten engaged. My husband popped the question. We set the date for the wedding. And I was like, by the way, I'm going to quit my job. And it was like, wait a minute, suspicious timing. But he knew me, and he knew where my heart was, and that this wasn't just him supporting me. And so he got behind me, and he's like, okay, I'm going to invest in you. I believe in you. Go do it. And so that's what I did. I spent a period of time doing health and life coaching, light life coaching, because I wasn't a certified life coach. It was more like goal accomplishment and how you can use your health and well-being and mindset, a lot of mindset related stuff, to really accomplish your goals. And while I loved what I was doing, I realized that wasn't the right career for me. I missed my communication roots. And so I went back to communication coaching, and I still do a bit of that on the side of ENCAPTIVE, which is working with people in their confidence and their mindset and overcoming the fear and anxiety associated with public speaking, as well as formulating your presentations, your speeches, your visual aids, the whole 9 yards. And as I was doing this, I had, over the course of my career, whether it was, I also taught communication and public speaking at Columbia University and Iona College, I realized, wait a minute, you know, I have this love-hate relationship with presentation software and event software. It's very one-sided. It's not engaging. It's all about clicking buttons. It's not about really creating human connections, and it's designed by technologists. I wanted to be a communication person designing a technology to help improve human connection and really use the technology as the conduit for making that human communication better. And so that's when I realized and started just chasing my dreams related to that. So the rest of this talk is now going to be interactive because I want you all to be part of this conversation, and I want you all to get something out of this and take it with you. So what I want you to all do, we talked about our goals of 2022. I want you all to close your eyes and visualize where you want to be this time next year. I want you to take 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and then just take a moment to visualize that. And I'll let you know when that minute's up. All right, now take 3 more deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, in and out. One more, in and out, and then slowly open your eyes. Does anybody want to share what they visualized for themselves? You don't have to. You can also drop it in the chat if you don't feel like chatting or talking.
I visualized having 8 to 12 active partners working with me in my wellness company.
Love that. Anybody else? All right, so if you feel like it, you can just pop it in the chat as we go on. So the next thing I want you to do is get a pen and paper or use your word processor or your notepad on your computer, however you'd like to. And I want you to write down 3 goals for the next year. Just 3 high-level goals of things that you want to accomplish. And don't stress too much about this. Do the top 3 things that come to your head. And if 3 don't come out right away, that's okay. 1 or 2 is fine. We're going to end up focusing on 1 for the next part of this exercise. And if you feel comfortable doing it, you can also pop your 3 goals in the chat, because it's great for us to see each other's goals and help to support one another in accomplishing those goals. See people writing. Anybody have goals they're ready to start sharing?
I can share.
Great.
So the very first thing, and this kind of goes along with the visualization that I did, my visualization was I teamed up with 3 strategic partners, and to help others become more visible. Just we need to be able to get more people out there and get their message out, make a bigger income, make a bigger impact. And if I can help, that's what I visualized. My first goal is to create digital products to help people, start where they're at, get more visible. The second one is to, team up with more people I want to latch arms with so many people and just be like, let's all do this together. Third one is still coming to me. So.
All right, great. That's good. And I see all these great goals coming in, make meaningful connections, create 7 streams of income. Kelly, I see you raising your hand.
Yes. So my first one in my visualization, it's all about opening a spiritual B&B in New Mexico with my husband, who is a master chef. So awesome. We are working towards that. So that is our vision. But also, it's all about collaborations for me this year, and speaking nationally and internationally on stages or online, sharing my message of Mother Earth and how important the connection is to her for all of us. And the last one is to have my animal wisdom candles in stores all across the country.
Awesome. All right. So if you didn't get a chance to talk about your goals, drop them in the chat, because sharing leads to accountability. And then when we put them out into the universe, it becomes more concrete, and we have this support system, this community to help back us up there. All right, so the next part of this exercise that we're going to talk about, oh, what is happening here? Okay. All right. Okay. I'm having a little trouble navigating PowerPoint here, as you can tell. So I love this quote, that a goal without a plan is just a wish, because that's true. If you look at the New Year's resolutions failure rates, they're through the roof. And the reason for that is because we set these big, lofty goals, and we don't remember to set small steps to get there. We don't really have our path for how we're going to get to these big, huge goals that we have set forth for ourselves, right? And so this is where we bring in what we call actionable intentions. And so what I want you all to do is pick one of those goals. It doesn't matter which one. It can be a personal goal, it can be a business goal, whatever it is that you want to focus on. Pick one goal for the purpose of this activity. And I want you to set an intention around accomplishing that goal. And the way you set an intention is those actionable steps, right? You're probably going to end up setting multiple intentions to build upon to get to that goal. But I want you to set that first intention of what you're going to do to start on that journey, to pass the start line, to pass go, to start collecting $200, right? And use this formula I have at the bottom in purple, which says, I intend to, and then describe what you want to accomplish in the next however many days, weeks, or months. And I will accomplish this by describing when and how you will accomplish that goal, right? So let's use a simple goal that I've used when I was health coaching, which was, I want to lose 10 pounds, right? I intend to lose 10 pounds in the next 3 months. I will accomplish this by going to the gym 3 days a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the morning before work. Do you see how that's the intention to help you accomplish that goal? If you just have, I plan to lose 10 pounds, you don't know how you're going to do that. A second intention related to that could be, I intend to lose 10 pounds in the next 3 months, and I will accomplish this by eating healthy foods, whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins for 80% of my meals, right? So that's another actionable intention that can help you accomplish that goal. So go ahead and write down an intention or two around accomplishing that goal. And then you can use this formula to help you after this meeting to continue to work towards those goals. And once you have some intentions, if you feel comfortable, throw them in the chat over there. In interest of time, I think we wrap up at 2 p.m., right, Divya? So in interest of time, with 10 minutes, I'm going to have you pop that in the chat, and then we'll keep moving forward with that. Yes, I agree, Barb. It's awesome reading everybody's goals. All right. So the next part of this is overcoming obstacles, because we all know, let me see, show of hands, how many of you have had obstacles or some kind of daily something that gets in your way of accomplishing goals? There is always that obstacle, that chasm to cross. I love this little snail. It's finding a way across that crevice, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how do we take the next step to overcome that obstacle related to this. I think what's happening is PowerPoint is just delayed. So what we're going to add is what I call our no excuses clause. So we did the part that was in purple. So what you're going to do now is the part that's in turquoise there, which is an if then statement of those obstacles that you know tend to come up and get in your way from getting things done. Time tends to be a big one for everybody. So what you're going to do is use this second part. So if whatever obstacle or excuse happens gets in your way, then you will do what? So for example, using that health one I used before of going to the gym Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the morning, things come up, right? Maybe you have an early meeting, or maybe the car broke down and you couldn't get there. So if I can't get to the gym on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday because I have an early meeting or something comes up, then I will go to the gym on Tuesday or Thursday to ensure that I get there 3 days a week. So this is your no excuses, get those obstacles out of the way. What is your plan B? What is your backup plan, right? So go ahead and start writing down, jotting down some of those if-then statements that you have there that you can add to this. And Divya, I think we can get these slides out to everybody, right? So that they can use these statements later. Great. So you'll have this roadmap for you to be able to continue to move forward. And then the last part of this equation is accountability. Studies showed that people were 90% more effective in accomplishing their goals if they had someone to help hold them accountable to accomplishing that goal. So what we're doing here, putting it out into the universe, telling each other what our goals are, that's a great first step. Now, how many of you in here, I know Divya said we don't love the term accountability partner. So what term can we use as a backup? But for now, I'm going to call it that. How many of you have an accountability partner or someone you work with? Great, to help you. So put it out there. Meet with an accountability partner on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis. Put forth, this is what I'm going to accomplish this week. That's how I ended up getting my book done. I had an accountability partner for my book. She was also writing a book. We met every Monday and laid out what are we going to accomplish this week with our goals. And then we met every Friday to say, what did we achieve? And if we both fully achieved our goals, we put on some music and we had a dance party. We had a virtual dance party to celebrate accomplishing our goals. And guess what? Even if we didn't get them all accomplished, we celebrated and then we came up for a plan on how we were going to make up for those goals we didn't accomplish for the next week. So ask for help. There's a great community here with LPL, and that is going to be the important thing to tap into. If you don't already have someone to help hold you accountable, find someone in this fantastic community. All right, so I'm going to leave you with a few tips. Yes, dance parties, Jen. So I'm going to leave you with a few tips. One is my watering plan called Water Yourself. So that's what my book is titled, and that's what it's about. And I came up with this watering plan because I found that a lot of people I was working with when I was doing health coaching and life coaching, they were making so much time for everybody else. And I feel like as women, we're more into serving others than taking care of ourselves. But if you don't take care of yourself, you're not well equipped to take care of other people. How many of you feel like you get stuck in this rut where you're doing everything for everybody else? I see heads nodding, and then the time for you just slips away. So here's how the watering system works. Raise your hand if you have a plant, or drop it in the chat. How many of you have plants at home? Uh-oh. All right. If you don't have a plant, go get a plant. Get a succulent. They're very hard to kill. So if you're not good with plants, it's great. You can forget to water it and you're okay. I see Barb dancing over there. So what you want to do is, excuse me, use that plant as a reminder. If you don't water that plant, what happens? It starts to wilt and wither and die. And you can see that happening. The problem is when we're not watering ourselves and we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't really see it happening until it's too late, right? And so use that plant as your reminder. Every time you water that plant, that should be a reminder to water yourself. What that means is go out and do something for yourself, whether that's taking a day off to binge in front of the TV, to read a book, to go for a walk, to go to a yoga class, to just do something that you've been wanting to do. Take that course you've been wanting to take that you just haven't had the time for. Use that watering as a reminder to do something for yourself and go out and do that. All right. So that's tip number one, water yourself to make sure you're taking care of yourself. I promise you this will make a big difference. The next thing is weed your garden. Just like a garden gets weeds, when those weeds grow in, they start to strangle your garden. It keeps the flowers from blooming. It keeps the plants from growing. It's stealing nutrients and water from the plants that you really want to flourish. You have those things in your life. You have weeds and pests and all of that stuff in your life that you need to think about weeding out. So whether those are tasks that you can delegate to someone else, or it's people in your life that just always leave you with a negative energy and pull you down, think about those things that you can start to weed out and remove from your life so that they're not stealing your much needed sunshine, water, and nutrients, and pull them, move them. In my book, I have worksheets that you can use. If you're a Kindle Unlimited member, it's free on Kindle Unlimited. So there's worksheets in there that you can use to learn how to weed, to remove the pests, all of that stuff. So use that stuff and remove those so that you can flourish and grow to your best potential. And finally, focus on the positive here. It's so easy to get caught up in all the bad and negative things that happen on a day-to-day basis. And there's a reason for this. It's because when negative things happen, they have 3 to 5 times more impact on us neurologically than the positive things. So you have to work even harder to find those positives. So one thing that has been proven over and over in psychology, 3 good things journaling. Taking the time to sit down at the end of each day and write down 3 good things, no matter how small. Find those 3 good things so you can start shifting to that positive mindset. The other thing that I like to recommend is keeping 2 journals, a sunshine journal and a weeds journal. Your sunshine journal is where you're going to write all the good stuff that's happening in your life, right? The people, the places, the things, the events, whatever it may be, write all those good things in one place. And then keep the negative things in your weeds journal. That way you're venting them, you're getting them out, you're releasing them from you. Why not put them in one? Well, again, it's harder to focus on the positive than the negative. So if you keep the positive separate and you're having a bad day and you just need to remind yourself of all the good in your life, you can pick up that sunshine journal and you don't have to go through all those weeds to get to the positive. All right. And then that's it. So I do, some of you have already won my book, and I know someone else today is going to get a copy. Like I said, it's free on Kindle Unlimited, but in there I talk about all these things: getting more sunshine, positivity, weeding out the bad, getting rid of those pests, and there's worksheets and everything in there along with that. So any questions? Everybody's so quiet.
It got really, really quiet in here. Thank you so much, Shannon. I love the gardening metaphor, even though I'm not a gardener, also do manage to kill succulents. So it's a superpower of mine. But it's just really such a great reminder, especially at this time of year, to set our goals, but also to be aware that life happens, and so have contingency so that we can really be a lot more successful and focus on managing our energy and taking care of ourselves in all of that. Because I agree, there's so many times where when we make that list, we are nowhere on the list. Like if this is the list, then you are in Florida, unless you are in Florida, in which case the opposite thing. So thank you so much, Shannon. Shannon is a wealth of information, as are all of you really. And Shannon is a member of our amazing community. She's in there with us in our Facebook group all week long. So my suggestion to y'all is connect with each other, because we all have something amazing to share, and there is one of my very, very dear mentors likes to say, everything that you need is in this room. This room that is Ladies Power Lunch. Everything you need is in the room. So if you have a question, post your question. If you need an accountability partner, post that you need one. I put us in really small groups to really give us an opportunity to get to know each other a whole lot better. And I hope that as the month progresses and the months progress, that you'll, outside of the meetings, keep connecting with each other and keep growing our community and growing our connections. Thank you, everybody, for showing up today. I'd like to honor everybody's time and to end our meeting on time. So I'm going to go ahead and stop